We have been going through this 35 pieces of the heartfelt advice, the teaching, what that Buddha taught. So here Dhammakiti, Tikun Dhammakiti has compiled together, put together for us to focus in a very concise advice for our daily life Dharma practices. Buddha's teaching is very vast and profound. So all this is Buddha taught only to purify all our mental confusion, which are the root cause of our suffering in the samsara. So this is it's not just a religion. Buddha's teaching is beyond the religion. It's not something ceremonial things to perform. This is something that we apply in our daily life for more peace, more happiness, also not just only temporary, but for last long. And as a matter of fact, to free from entire the suffering that what we don't desire for. So it is since everybody in the world, we hope everyone is working so hard, you see, day and night, like politicians, they work hard day and night. The business people, they work day and night hard. Those who are involved in the technologies, they also work so hard. Those are building the construction, they also work day and night for all the welfare of this life, to succeed this life, so that we may have more peace and happiness and less suffering. That's the basic idea of focus. So Buddha's teaching is touching the root cause of the suffering, not just a surface material thing. The mind, as mentioned, is very complex, very sophisticated, and it is also very ambiguous. Even ourselves, we don't know. We want to be free, but when the mind is caught up in such, then we are very difficult to get out of that. I don't want to be upset. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be so obsessed with my attachment. But when that manifests, then I have no choice. Then sometimes I'm very angry. Sometimes I'm very upset. Then in the midst of that, there's a suffering. So much confusion. And then I go through. Then I blame somebody else. I'm suffering because of this. I'm suffering because of he, she, this, that, is all. We just making the condition on the outside. But root cause is within us, within me. So to that is I am the responsible. At the end of the day, I alone is the responsible. When we know that, then we take the responsibility. Then we study, practice the teaching, make every effort to purify my root cause of this, all the suffering, you see. When the day when I know how to take the responsibility myself. Then you see, I make every effort to purify it. Because Dharma teaching that Buddha taught has every angle, every aspect to comprehend, to handle these mental kind of problems. So that's why Buddha's teaching is so precious. So it is, as mentioned, it's just beyond the religion. It's not just a ceremony. It's not just something culture thing. It's the reality nature of all phenomena. This we have to understand and make sure we get it. Dharma teaching is educational. So it's not something religion to believe. So especially this 21st century, education is very important. Look at every country where there's more school, colleges, university, that country is much better than any other who don't have. You see, where there's no education, it's so backward. Where the education is going forward. So Buddha's teaching is the ultimate education system. That's what there comes three things: hearing, contemplation, meditation practice. It's not just only hearing, it's not just only contemplation, but the talk way down to the practice to uproot the root cause of suffering. So it is educational. So Buddha's teaching said, Buddha said, my teaching is belong to everybody, not some individual. Because I gave the teaching for everybody. So everybody have the opportunity to study, practice. There's no difference monks and nuns or lay people. No, lay people, monks, nuns, ordained, non-ordained. Everyone has the responsibility, and we have the same opportunity. Like for example, Milarewa was not a monk. He wears the white cloth, no cotton cloth. He was not monk. Marba was not monk. There are so many great teachers who were not monk, but they attend Buddhahood. So the lay people also has the same responsibility as the monks and nuns has. Sometimes we say, oh, the Dharma teachers, the monks, nuns, their responsibility. They have to hold, they have to do better. We are lay people, so we are not responsible, we say. But that is something we're missing. So we have to understand everyone has the responsibility. So they are called the Buddhas, the 4 members of Sangha, ordained, not ordained, Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, and Upasaka, Upasika. Those 4, you see. So Upasaka, Upasika are the lay people. And Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni is ordained. So they both have the responsibility. Oh yeah, that is now where we have touched this the refuge is the basis of all the training. So is the training, as I mentioned, there are Vinaya training, Bodhisattva's training, Vajrayana's training. Now it's Vinaya, there are lay people Vinaya, ordained Vinaya. For the lay people, Vinaya is the 5 precepts. The 5 precepts are the foundation of all the training. I'm sure everybody knows this. The 5 precepts. I repeat this many times. Even I was in US, quite different places. Even when I go to Europe, anywhere I go, I repeat this practice of the 5 precepts. So we need to remind. This is what's called the world peace, as I mentioned this morning. We chant some millions of mantras, say, for world peace. Of course, it's wonderful. Bring the name of the Buddha is so precious. Chanting mantras, wonderful, But that alone is not enough. The 5 precepts are the foundation for the peace, for the individual, for world peace. I'm sure you have seen the drawing of the 4 great animals. Have you seen this? Elephant. On the elephant, monkey. On the monkey, what? A rabbit. On the rabbit, the bird. So these, the 4 great harmonious friends. It has a big history. We should know that. And let all people know. The 5 precepts, first of all, not only Buddhist. Anybody can keep that 5 precepts. It doesn't contradict their belief system. See, even non-believers, they can appreciate the 5 precepts. Who has the 5 precepts? Individual. In the society, people respect that person more. So this person, he or she keeps the 5 morality, the 5 precepts. People trust more, respect more in the community. See, who's not harming others, who's not stealing, not engaging sexual misconducts, not telling a lie here and there, not drinking alcohol. The people say, oh, this person is a very good person. You can trust, you see. Doesn't matter, even non-believers. And Buddha's teaching is a foundation to our study practice. That history goes way back. At a place called Kashika. It was in India. Way back. So those 4 animals I mentioned, the elephant, the monkey, the rabbit, and the bird. They occasionally meet in a spring, there's water. They come there, drink water, then they become good friends, very close understanding. And then they discuss who's older, who's younger. And then the elephant said, maybe I'm the older, because as long as I remember that, first time when I came here, this tree is my size, small elephant. Then the monkey said, oh, in that case, maybe I'm older. Because the first time when I remember, the tree has few branches. But I remember. Then rabbit said, oh, in that case, I'm the older. So the first time when I remember the tree, this tree, big tree, is just coming out of the ground, few leaves. The bird said, oh, in that case, I'm the oldest. Because I had the fruit I ate the fruit from other tree, and when I came here to drink the water, I shed, and then that becomes this a seed to grow the tree. So they understood who's the older, who's younger, and they respect so much. Then the bird suggested, now we are so good friends. I'm so happy we know each other well, respect each other. Now we should keep these 5 precepts. It's for really good for our life, for peace, harmony. It's called harmonious friend. Then the other three, oh, that's very good idea. Let's do that. Then they become very familiar. They become very familiar of these 5 precepts, all this. And the bird suggested, oh, now see how peaceful we are. We're so harmony each other. Now we trust each other. Where there's no any fear, doubt. Because of this now, not only us, we should do this to help others. Elephant, you should work with all the tigers, the lions, all just, to keep those. And then the monkey, you should do that. Your contribution. And rabbit, you do this, and I will take care of all the birds to practice these 5 precepts. And they all agreed, that's a wonderful idea, let's do this. So then they took the responsibility, all the animals in that area, and then said that the country, the whole country becomes so peaceful. There's no fear each other, they respect each other. So because of this becomes the whole that influence of that peace, harmony in the mind, their life. Then see, it blessed all the elements of the country. So then the rain fall on time. There's no pandemic, no sickness, okay. There's no drought, no kind of flesh, water. So the crop, all the crop grows and on time. So whole place become the tree, all the tree, the fruit, they bear the fruit, So abundant, So all this. Then that reflect also affected whole country in the kingdom, people in the whole. So the king and all the subject people, they say, oh, they don't know. They didn't know those 4 animals, They thought, the king thought, oh, this is my effect because I rule the country so compassionately, because of this. That all the people thought, they thought we were very obedient to the king because of this is happening, So there was a great meditator, practitioner. Then he told all the people, the king, it's none of yours deed. It's because these 4 animals in this jungle, in this forest. So they were very curious. Who are they? So then the great yogi, he said, because of this. So everyone is so impressed. So all the people and the king, including, they kept the 5 precepts. So because of that, the country became better and better. Everyone there who died, they reborn back to as a human being. More peace, more prosperous, everything. See, that is really happened. When you come down on the lineage, Buddha said, now that bird, it's me. So like that. Even now in the world, if everybody keeps these 5 precepts, the world's much better off. There's appreciation. We appreciate what we have, rejoice each other, not fighting each other, not quarreling, keep the mind peace. Then everything without obstacle comes there. Now that when we have some obstacles, we go to temple. Can you say this prayer? No, I'm facing these obstacles like this. Actually, these 5 precepts are the foundation to get rid of the obstacles. All the evil things is universal. So you see, on the basis of that, all the Vinaya precepts Buddha prescribed. On the basis of that, then we practice loving kindness, compassion, and develop bodhicitta. On the basis of this, then we practice Vajrayana, all the Deity Yoga practices. How we can practice Deity Yoga practice when there's hatred, when there's anger, when there's attachment. So these 5 precepts are the universal. It's reality nature. It's not something Buddhist has to do, but it is everybody's responsibility. It's everybody's interest. So this we need to share everywhere if we really want world peace. All in our different Dharma centers, everywhere need to share this. Buddha talk about that. It's there in the written, how at that time, when they practice that, they have got that kind of benefit. See. So then on the basis of that, we take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha. Then we go deeper. Then cut all the delusions free from samsara and achieve enlightenment. Now I think we come to the 5, isn't it? 5. Let's see what is the 5. Now here the 5. The root of all Dharma is loving kindness and compassion, cherishing others over myself, the collection of aspiration and actions vow. To treasure these are precious as your own eyes and heart. To uphold them firmly is my heart held advice. So first, as mentioned, these 5 precepts is all of don't harm. Don't harm. Don't do these things. Don't do these things. But we avoid all cause of suffering. Once you avoid these cause of suffering, then Buddha said, you see, practice loving kindness. Because everybody desire for peace and happiness. No one desire for suffering. And this is not something religious training. It's a requirement of everybody's interest for peace and happiness. And as a capital, everybody has love and compassion. Not universally, not as for everybody, but individually in the family, you see. In any religion you practice, even without religion, the parent has love and compassion to their children. Even bird, you look at how the bird hatches the chicken, eggs, so delicately they hatch the egg. and chicken, you see. Even the small bugs who knows nothing, as soon as when that gives birth of the offspring, she cares, even risk of her life. She doesn't know anything, but there is a sense of responsibility out of love and compassion. You see, everyone has this. No? Because that is the expression of the Buddha nature. You see, that shows everyone has Buddha nature. The Buddha nature expresses that kind of thing. Even so stupid. No? That's our capital. That's how they survive. You see, the birds, they survive. The mothers, how they care. The small insects, they survive. The mothers care. No? So we all have this, and that's our capital. So we capitalize that, then expand on the basis that it can be emotional. But now Buddha taught teachings to expand that, you see. So now all the sentient beings desire peace and happiness. That's what's called precious human life. Since we have the precious human life, we have all this opportunity to expand. You know, that's our mind is so powerful. Mind is so complex. The mind is unlimited. So that's what we can expand unlimited loving kindness, compassion to all. Even you see Hinayana, who's not so interested for the enlightenment of every sentient beings, but they strive to achieve the arhat. See, because of the first their emphasis on the practice of metta, practice of metta, practice of karuna, so important. Let's practice metta to everybody. Let's practice of karuna to everybody. They may not encourage us to develop bodhicitta, to reborn again and again, to practice bodhicitta. But in this life, in that life, to purify our mental confusion, the metta, karuna are the very important practice, you see. This is just expression of the Buddha nature. So then the Mahayana teaching gives further more developed. So not just only practice loving kindness, compassion is required at the beginning, but it's not enough. No. How, how and when the individuals achieve the ultimate peace and happiness. When and how that individual free from all the suffering. Set down, bodhicitta. So say I mentioned aspiration bodhicitta and action bodhicitta. As you are saying the prayers, practicing loving kindness, compassion, to accomplish that, your prayer, your aspiration, prayer. So when one becomes the Buddha, that moment, then that individual free from all the suffering and achieves all the peace and happiness. So see, it's a cause. Buddha is giving the cause to the individual how to attain Buddhahood. It's not a Buddhist belief. It's not just a Buddhist way, but it is something universal, a cause that we require. If you want to grow a rice, we have to know how to grow the rice. If you want to grow a mango tree, a mango, we have to know how to grow the mango tree. So when you want to become a Buddha, what kind of courses there? What kind of courses they require? So that's how, it's not just Buddhism. It is the causality nature. So that's why if we want to become Buddha, we practice first loving kindness, compassion, and then develop bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, first aspiration, first you aspire. So to that you see the three faiths require. The faith of trust, the faith of clear, and the faith of longing. First we understand the causality, all the causes and conditions. What is the suffering? The suffering of suffering, the suffering of change, the suffering of condition. What are the cause? Mental afflictions, and or the negative karma of the suffering, the cause of suffering. Then you see those first two truths in the samsara. Then to flee from samsara, the result cessation, the cessation of the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering itself, the path, the eightfold path. You follow those the path. If you follow in this path, you achieve that cessation. So you understood that's called the faith of trust. You understand the causality. Then you have clear devotion to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. See, it's called clear faith. It's not just a blind faith, say, oh, I'm Buddhist because I'm Buddha, I'm Buddhist, I have to say this prayer, I have to believe, not just that. I know what's Buddha, then the Dharma, the Sangha, clear faith. Once you have the clear faith, then you have longing. I'm longing to free from samsara. I'm longing to achieve Buddhahood. So this aspiration, bodhicitta, it's about that, Once we have this, then you see now action. What we should do to become Buddha. It's not enough. I'm very interested to achieve Buddhahood, I'm so interested, so what should I do? Then there comes the action. See, first of all, avoiding the 10 non-virtues and practicing the 10 virtues, and in reinforcing on the practice of loving kindness, compassion. See, and on the basis of that, then what should we do more? The practice of 6 parameters, or the practice of the 6 parameters step by step. It's called action. What that does, it purifies all our mental obscuration. So it's causality. It's not just mere empty. It's not just mere illusion. It requires all this mental courage. So aspiration, action vows. To treasure these as precious as your own eyes, you see. So we treasure these all. They are so precious. Once you come to know this, and then you see those who really want to free from samsara, who really want to attain Buddhahood, then because you are getting the real thing in your hand, oh, I'm so fortunate. Now I can do, I have the method. It's not something flowery on the sky. No, the actual things in your hand. Look at this now 6 parameters. Like look at the jewel ornament of liberation, or all the practices of the generosity, moral ethics, patience, perseverance, samadhi, and wisdom, all there. No. It's like, say, when the hot weather, the elephant is so big, in the hot weather, elephant feels so desperate. As soon as when the elephant see the river there, he just jump into the river. So like that, when you find these teachings there, then this great bodhisattvas, they feel so joyful, so happy. It doesn't mean there's a suffering. It doesn't mean there's no suffering. There is a suffering, but very joyfully you sacrifice the suffering. Because I come from beginningless up until now in the samsara, and I suffer. Even this life, you look at how much suffering you went through. You remember, how much obstacles you face. Now, Dharma practice, you see, to free from all this, how precious it is. Even this 21st century, Dharma is so fresh there. We follow step by step. And this mission is our mental afflictions are not so easy to get rid of, It's a real battlefield. Now the war, they're going on, killing each other, That's a senseless. You want peace of it. You want peace and happiness. They want peace and happiness. And where you are making miserable each other, Now these mental afflictions that we have in our heart, the delusions we have, they looks like friendly with us. In reality, they are always the cause of suffering. If they are not there in our mind, we have no reason to suffer. Our suffering is all caused from this, you see. So Buddha has given us this instrument. Look to inside and make the battle joyfully, purify them. As this morning mentioned, sometimes we chant mantra. So we're hoping this may disappear, go away, But then you chant some millions, still they are there, So they should say, this mantra has no effect, Why? I chant that many mantra, still no it's there. Because we have not put pressure on them. We are being very gentle, friendly with them, You see. So chanting mantra is not enough. But we chant mantra as a remedy to purify them, to uproot them. We need a countermeasure to really uproot them. So this is the battlefield. And when we got the victory, we are the real hero, a real hero to uproot these enemies. Look at read the Bodhisattva Avatara, in that section, this is described. So that is then real, how Buddha's teaching is precious to everybody. So that is it. Actions vows to treasure these received. We should treasure these as precious as your own eyes. How much we pay attention to our own eyes. When eyes is not so clear, then you go to doctor and you pay so much to check up and then get all the eyeglasses. All this so expensive. We should treasure these as our own eyes, our own heart. See, and heart. 제대로 민다, 닝다 랍제버, 땡부르 차바, 차와, 땡부 창와, 그 닝다민. Okay. Then 장주 도저. Okay, next. The Vajrayana path leads to the attainment of awakening with what has been transmitted as the essence of the path of ripening and liberation. The three vows are always transmitting upward to strongly exert yourself. In them is my heart felt advice. See? Now here, if you look at it, very important. The Vajrayana path leads to the attainment of awakening. Vajrayana path is a method. See, a method gives us to attain Buddhahood quickly. That you see, what that with what has been transmitted as the essence of the path of ripening and liberation. This ripening and liberation. Ripening is empowerment. And liberation is your practice. Mindul skal. Now, mindul amji nyingbu kangsungba. How much empowerment do you have received? Have your mind is ripened or still raw? You see, the Vajra master sit here throne, and then the bass and all the text there, drums, bell there, and then they give a drop of water for the preparation, and then give a torma to dispel the obstacles, and then this put you on your head, and get some water. I said, repeat this mantra. I said, you receive the empowerment. Yes, happening is very important. Right now, this ordinary state, the body, mind is raw, unripened, samsaric body. So what this is, first, this is mentioned, the 5 precepts. Base the 5 precepts. On the base on that, you need bodhicitta. See, loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta for all the sentient beings. Then while you sit there, the Vajra master explains. You have these 5 skandhas. This morning I mentioned, 5 skandhas. Okay. Now, the ordinary 5 skandhas, now you have to understand to transform into 5 Buddhas. Okay. Vajra master should explain that. Okay. Your form body, Buddha Berutana. Your feeling, this Buddha. Your perception, this Buddha. formation, this Buddha. Consciousness, this Buddha. And 5 mental afflictions we have. Give instruction. These 5 mental afflictions, Nyomong Klesha, should now replace by these 5 wisdoms. So give this explanation. And the disciple should listen very carefully. Yes, I understood. Then with this base, this water giving, all this is just a ritual, but this is the first call. Then with that, giving that ceremony, whole your samsaric state transform into enlightened state, you see. You got the good wisdom of that, you see. When you got this, that's called receiving the empowerment. You are empowered to attain Buddhahood with this ceremony, okay? Not just a drop of water and put the vase on your head, See. Then once you got this through this empowerment ceremony, then next is called liberation. Then Bhajan Master gives the instruction how to now actualize. Even though we got the empowerment, introducing this all into us, but still our habit is not purified. To purify the habit, then we need to practice this liberation. Liberation means liberate from the delusion. Okay. This very, your 5 skandha, what you have, that's to introduce into the enlightened state. That's what it's called. Vajrayana is so powerful. It gives that method. Not in Vinaya state, they give you this. Not even Mayana, give you this. But Vajrayana gives you this opportunity. So we have to go step by step. There's no magic. There's no magic power. But we practically, realistically have to follow this step by step. So that's what's called, we need an authentic Vajra master. We need an authentic Vajra student. Okay. Vajra student, Vajra master. You see, interdependent. Okay. One alone is not enough. Okay. That's that is here. 3 vows. Now there you have the Upasaka. It's a lay practitioner. Upasaka's vow. You have Bodhisattva's vow. Now you have received Vajrayana to maintain in the enlightened state. So they are support each other. They are not against each other. Okay. Some master will say, oh, Vinaya is Hinayana. So in Vajrayana, we don't need Vinaya. They are confused. See, they don't know. The Vinaya is the basic which now gives the fundamental root cause of suffering, all the mental afflictions. So Buddha said, avoid this. And to free from this, all these like 10 virtues. On the base on that, you practice bodhicitta. As I mentioned, in Vinaya, you say like 5 precepts. 5 precepts means don't do this. Now on the base on that, not doing that, then do this. First say, don't harm sentient beings, So then on the base on not harming sentient beings, then you have to benefit sentient beings. If you get rid of the Vinaya, not harming sentient beings, then how you can help other sentient beings? It's logical. First you abstain from stealing. Then after that you practice giving. See, how you can practice giving where you're stealing? You know? See, it's illogical, you know? You see, that's here. These are so precious to find the right path. See, step by step too, you know. Sometimes there's, I'm sure you have heard of, in Vinayan, you are not allowed to drink alcohol, isn't it? In Vajrayana, you are allowed, some say. Have you heard of that? You see, if you're drunk, how you can meditate? Anyhow, how you can liberate sentient beings, you know? It doesn't make sense, you know? When you're allowed means you have the ability to digest. To digest the alcohol means you have every ability to transmute into ambrosia. Okay. If you have the ability to transmute into ambrosia, transform into ambrosia, it's no longer alcohol. See, you have the ability. That's what Buddha means. No, Vajrayana allow. It's not allowed because Buddha said so, but allowed, you have the ability. See, so Lord, a lot of misunderstanding, you know, lot of confusions there. So the teacher has to explain these things in detail, and then Dhamma practitioners follow. Then you get the real benefit. Otherwise, I'm Vajrayana practitioner, you're then drunk, you know. You fall down on the street, you know, there. What you're doing is, I'm Vajrayana practitioner, you know. That's disgrace. You know, you see. It doesn't serve the Buddha's teaching. It only causes decline. Then it becomes bad example, you see. That is in the Konchog, Gyaltshen's teaching, precisely explained so clearly, you know. That's how Konchog is precious. That's Dhammakirti is putting here. It's becoming better and better and better and better. You know. First, I'm a Vinaya practitioner, so I explain, I preserve all this vow, you know, I'm very careful about these things, you know. So I don't eat, even I don't eat dinner. I'm so careful. I don't harm. I don't engage these things. You know, become the first very impressive practitioner. And then you say, I follow Maya now. Little, you know, you know. So, and then say, in Vinaya, you are not allowed to tell lie. But in Mahayana, for the benefit of sentient beings, you can tell lie, you know. You know? Very lot of excuses there, you know. And then in the Vajrayana was really free now. Then go again back to samsara. So what is that the kind of down practice is about? So here, the three vows, you see, upwards, he said here, no? The three vows are always transmuting upwards, means progressive, better and better, more clear, you know, purifying gross mental afflictions, then subtle mental affliction, purify step by step all this. Then in this way, you are better off yourself in the Dharma practice, you can help others better. See, this way we need to prolong the Dharma teachings. We need the Dharma teachings stay in the samsara as long as possible. That's up to us whether we practice accordingly or not. No. There's no outside to look for. We are the one that are responsible to keep the Dharma teachings. See. So to strongly strongly exert yourself in them is my heart advice. So please hear Dharma Kitties now joining his hand. No. Say, please exert, please make effort, please progress yourself for your own benefit. This was called Dharma is remaining in the samsara. It's not the text, no. There's a kanjuru, then you build so many kanjuru, then you send this Dharma. That's just writing text. Dharma is in our heart, our study, our practice. That's the Dharma. If there's no teacher, then what? You may have hundreds of kanjuru, then what you can do? We print so many texts here and there. If you don't study, practice, then what? So we individually have to study them, practice them. Then this way is called Dharma is alive, fresh. There's a scholar who knows well of these three pitakas. Then who practices the three trainings I mentioned. Training of the Shila, training of the Samadhi, the training of the Prajna. So these are realizations. Then directly benefit the Dharma, the sentient beings. And we individually become a better human being, basically. Sometimes it's a Dharma practitioner. So that's a very, who cannot express, things like this, very stupid, And then out of society, Dharma practitioner, we Dharma practitioners should be very good in the society, who can explain these benefits, how important it is for world peace, you see. They're making war, battle for world peace, you see. How they can bring peace, This is the way how to bring the peace. Making war within the affliction, the cause of the suffering, and defeat them. So this mental affliction, as I mentioned, there's an enemy, and this ayat, there was 400 stanza in that mention. A person who's possessed by the evil spirit, and the doctor who treat that person knows well that the patient. And then the patient who is possessed by the evil spirit, he expresses anger to the doctor. And doctor is not angry. Doctor knows the problem of him. The doctor will try all he can to treat that person's problem out of compassion. Even that patient expresses the anger. So same way Buddha said, all the sentient beings, the samsara, They are possessed by this mental affliction. So sentient beings are not enemy, but these mental afflictions are the enemy. These Nyomong glacier, Nyomong glacier, these mental afflictions, they are the enemy, not the sentient beings. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of this enemy of the mental afflictions. When these are treated, sentient beings are enlightened in nature. They are our real friends. Makes us enemy because of mental affliction. So that you say, so this, and then next here, the root of siddhis is the Vajra master. Respectfully protect the precious samaya. The main downfalls and the branches that have been taught to take into experience this root is my heartfelt advice. Now, the Vajra master, as earlier mentioned, first to have the samaya, to keep the samaya, Vajra master has to have all these necessary qualities and has the ability to transmit or say, to give the teachings of these teachings. Like say, as mentioned, the empowerment, for example. The Vajra master performs the empowerments accordingly. And then the disciple received those teachings, instructions, and got all the benefit. So then there's a samaya. See, if only rituals, just read the text, repeat 3 times, read the text and give some drops of water, and then threats, I receive empowerment. In the mind, you have nothing, So I receive. What you have received? Oh, the vase is touched on my head, and I got a drop of water, a nectar, I don't know that really received the teachings of samaya, makes the samaya. We have to investigate carefully about this. So anyhow, here's called purify. First, all the mental afflictions are purified, washed, and then replaced by the wisdom. That's called receiving the empowerment. Replacing, as mentioned, the 5 Buddhas, the 5 wisdoms. After receiving these instructions, then they involve the samaya. If you don't keep them, then you are breaking the samaya. In the first place, if you have not received all those things, there's nothing to break. You see, what to break, So then we continue of those teachings that we receive, keeping the relation. So that, you see, that's what is that is so important. So respectfully protect the precious samaya. That's called. Samaya was in Tibetan, it's a tamzik, Tamzik samaya, called holy words, thick, holy, pure, means Buddha's word. So keeping the Buddha's word means what Buddha instructed. Keep that in your heart, not breaking that. So all this samaya, the Vinaya, the bodhicitta and the Vajrayana teachings. Sohra Samaya, it's not just one small thing. So that condition is made by Vajra Master, who has all the ability, qualities, what Buddha taught, through what Buddha taught, that taught by the authentic Vajra Master to us, and we got the benefit. You see, that's called Vajra Master, respectfully protective, precious Samaya. The main downfall, there are 14 root downfall. I'm sure you have heard of 14 root downfall there, for those you can study. The 8 minor downfalls and branches, minor or branches that have been taught. So to take into experience this root is my heartfelt advice. So it's a Nyamne Tawa. This experience means practice. You put into practice. Keep them in your heart. Meditating yourself in the deity state. And you're seeing all other as a deity, enlightened being. It's a Vajrayana. Next is number 8. Since the source of all good quality is the heedfulness, abandon distraction and remain in a secluded place, hidden away like a wounded deer. To dwell alone is my hard advice. Now, practitioner. Though this means after you receive all those teachings now, 5 precepts from the Vinaya teachings, and aspiration, action bodhicitta from the sutras now, and then you receive the Vajrayana empowerment instructions, the ripening, liberation, all these instructions. Now we need to put into practice. So where you can practice, say in a solitary place, in a solitude place. You can, as a beginner, we cannot practice in the public, So it's advised in the solitude, you go there to adjust yourself, because our mind is already scattered. So where the mind is scattered within in the social activities, we cannot maintain the practice. So this is the solitude is very good practice. Now when you're working, like in the morning is the best place, best time. Go to bed earlier. In the morning you get up when there's no noise anywhere. You get up and then you just open the beginning. First you take a deep breath, breathe in all the blessings to Buddha, Bodhisattvas, loving kindness, compassion. You breathe in, breathe out all our delusion. So exercise this, breathing in, breathing out, relax. So that your mind is conscious, calm, is becoming flexible, useful. Otherwise, our mind is unruly mind. That unruly mind is practiced that way. Then you meditate, your whole being is within the bodhicitta. Would that state reflect in the deity yoga practice or transform into deity? So actually, now if I say a few words, see, Vajrayana practitioner, what to require, there's some steps we take. See, in the Buddhist Vajrayana, first we need a strong renunciation of the samsara. Renunciation of samsara means, as earlier mentioned, all these mental afflictions that we have. So within that state in the samsara, there's no peace, there's no happiness. We cannot get real peace and happiness in the midst of all these mental afflictions. Can you? No. Just reflect yourself. In the midst of all this confusion, mental, unruly, turmoil, state, can you expect real peace and happiness? No. Look at this. So that is called renounce these mental afflictions. You can hear a lot, renounce, this in our Theravada system, we have a lot to renounce, you see. In Vinaya, they're saying what we have, same. Renounce samsara, renounce this, renounce that, It doesn't mean don't eat, don't wear clothes. No, everyone has to eat, wear clothes. What means renounce? Means renounce the cause of suffering. Renounce our attachment. Renounce the aggression. Renounce the indulge of the ego. Purify those, renounce those. Then you become a good practitioner of Vinaya. Once you achieve that, like 5 precepts, then you develop bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta to all the sentient beings. You see. On the basis of that, we have to see everything's temporary, transitory nature. Nothing lasts long. That flower here, so fresh, so beautiful. We paid a lot of money to buy this, but after a few days, will fade. Then you trash, Then you have to look for where is your trash, So you see, everything's that nature. Myself is in that nature. So everything transfers nature. We are not making them bad, but it's their nature. You see. So it's our recognition. We recognize these things. Have that kind of understanding. Temporary manifestation, reflection of the karma, reflection of the mind. The reflection of the karma, mind, these two are very important, you see. First of all, I got this, my body here. It's the reflection of my karma. See, I have created karma to get this body. It's the reflection of my karma. Once I got it, now it depends my mind, how it maintains. If I attach to it, if I'm so obsessed with this, then my mental reflection, that's how I create. Instead, so I have this precious human life. It's very temporary nature, but I'm very grateful. I can study, practice Dharma. I practice bodhicitta. So then I practice bodhicitta. My being becomes the nature of bodhicitta. This reflection of the mind. See, so all are that nature. See, this is the Dharma. wisdom that we get from Buddha. So then, see, everything's emptiness. See, we're capturing the real nature of that emptiness. Sometimes we say Buddhists believe emptiness. Have you heard of that? It's not a Buddhist belief. Everything functions within the emptiness. Look at our mind. How many thoughts are coming? These all thoughts are coming from emptiness due to the habit and dissolve into emptiness. Like a bubble. Bubbles coming from the water, you know. Without the water, there's no bubble. So where the bubbles are manifesting dissolves into the water. So all the thoughts coming, manifesting from the emptiness and dissolve into emptiness. But we don't realize. We're just grasping, fixated. I like, I don't like, you know. All these things, and there are things, all this, you know, then we suffer. So if we know this all is just a manifestation, then we don't pay attention so much. They come and go. See? So when we know how to liberate these thoughts, instead of grasping, then there comes the liberation. There comes the peace, happiness. So first we have to know these things. Then we start Vajrayana. See? Sometimes without knowing anything, we give empowerment. I don't know how many people can get empowerment, you know. So that's it's a progressive zone, like, okay, that way, no? So that reminded that's why when you become Vajrayana practitioner, you visualize the deity, inseparable of appearance and emptiness, you see. Otherwise, deity is substantial, concrete. That's wrong, no? When you read the Vajrayana, those Dhamma practices, they will always say, inseparable of appearance and emptiness. See? If we practice Vajrayana as something concrete, stable, established, no, it's ignorant. No wisdom there. So wisdom is required to realize that deity is nothing but nature of the emptiness. Then you can get all the benefit. So to that now, yes, since the source of all good quality is heedfulness, abandon distractions and remain in a secluded place. Hidden away like a wounded deer, to dwell alone is my heart advice. So, as I was explaining, right at the beginning, we're not established to practice in the society, so we need some seclusion. So I was recommending, like in the morning, early in the morning, you get up and then you meditate all days. You know, everything's nothing but manifestation. The nature is now all just illusory nature. I renounce the samsara. I will help all sentient beings. I will attain Buddhahood. So practice these things, you know. Then heedfulness in Tibetan is called Bayu. very important for you. The heedfulness, the mindfulness, the awareness, these are the, what you call, the pillar of your meditation practice. When we build a big house, you need a pillar. If there's no pillar, house will collapse. So when you build the meditation, you need the heedfulness as the pillar of your meditation practice. You see. Nagarjuna said in his writing to the friend, the heedfulness is ambrosia, means nectar. What means nectar? See, transform the poison into medicine. Transform the poison into medicine. So that means to relate to our mind all our mental afflictions, that all mental afflictions can transform into wisdom. So if you have no heedfulness, then it's like it's like you are dead, and dead practitioner. We can achieve nothing. If you lost the heedfulness, mindfulness, you lost that, there's no Dharma practice. Because our mind is wandering. While you're chanting mantra, your mind goes everywhere, isn't it? Collecting all the information, you know. Here you're chanting mantra, you know. Your mind goes all the corner, you know. So there's no heedfulness. There's no mindfulness, you see. How much you can expect from that practice, you know. Sometimes maybe you're wasting your time, you know. So that was here. You see. Dhammakirti makes a very important point, you see. Since the source of all good qualities, you see, the heedfulness, mindfulness is the source of all the good qualities, because all the negative mental afflictions can transform through the heedfulness. No. So continuity is called the continuity of the mindfulness. It's heedfulness or mindfulness. So as a beginner, it's advised stay in the solitude place. You look for solitude place, you stay there, then you do those shamatha, all this. Shamatha is very important, or samadhi. There's some people ask, when you read the history, all our previous great masters' history, who has clairvoyance, who did this, who flight, who met a friend on the rock, all these things. They are like now mythology. nowadays, So there's what happened now? We don't see anybody doing these things, Because they don't have shamatha. That's a problem, But the shamatha is there. You know, there's the three worlds: the desire world, home world, homeless world. You know, these three: kama dhatu, rupa dhatu, arupa dhatu. You know. So to achieve rupa dhatu, the form world, you have to have the samadhi. See. In the desire world, kama dhatu, our enjoyment is the five sensual. We like to eat delicious food, like to see the movies, pleasant music, a good fragrant food, scrumptious food, and good clothes where, we enjoy those things. So our mind is totally outside, scattered, Then Rupa Dhatu means they have a form, but they enjoy the inside the mental meditative state. They don't enjoy these five sensual objects. These five sensual objects are just nothing but illusory nature. When you have very good meditative state, calm, peaceful mind, that's the best place to enjoy the life. Very clear, peaceful. And that becomes a basis of then clear to see far side. We have been doing long meditation, like you just read the Milarepa's life story. He was totally secluded in the mountain by himself. Because of that, he got all those excellent qualities. And Kambupa also, even meeting Milarepa, he could meditate for weeks, even without food. He can sustain his body. Then after meeting Milarepa, then Milarepa said, you continue until you achieve Dhammakaya. Don't scatter here, there. So he went back to his birthplace. For 6 years, he was totally meditative state. Because of that, he received all those excellent qualities. His realization of emptiness was so powerful. That the place where he's staying is a small hut. And he totally directly see as the nature of the emptiness. Inseparable, that appearance and the emptiness. Inseparable. There's a small pillar there is in his hut. He put his hand, he thrown his hand through the pillar. So this is what's called realizing the inseparable of the emptiness and appearance. This, due to the powerful samadhi as a special condition, then with the realization of the emptiness of the special wisdom. So we should all be practitioners if you can. These are all just information for you, I share. So if you want to do retreat like these things, you have to make yourself know what to expect. Good meditation. In the midst of busy life, not so possible as our mental state. How we are so distracted, agitated our mind. Not possible. So that's why it's secluded place. So abandon all the distractions, agitations. So hidden away like a wounded deer. A deer is wounded, always fearful. For the deer, so, when that deer, you see somebody totally run away, all the way like that. If there's some agitates your mind through the distraction, it's just, I'm not ready yet, I need to go. Meditate. Once you're so well established in the realization of bodhicitta, realization of the emptiness, then you are fearless, ready to benefit sentient beings so much. That's it. So look at read the life story of the great masters that we have. No. It's supposed to be a great medicine. Don't do it. Then next, number 9. Is that right? Furthermore, furthermore, indulging in heedlessly is like packs of wild deer living in isolated place but wasting away their lives. With urgency and diligence, exhort yourself forcefully to abandon distraction is my heartfelt advice. So now, before you are advised to stay in the solitude place, but he's saying just staying in solitude place is not necessarily you are doing the right thing, You are in the solitude place and then you become heedless, wandering here, there, then, instead of then you build up ego, or I'm in the solitude place, I'm sure people are talking about me, how wonderful he is or she is, and your ego is developed. And then you are thinking, is there anybody saying something good about me? I have been here in this solitude place 10 years, 20 years, So many years I have been here. So many people who can do these things build some ego, arrogance. So that is not the really right thing you do, Wild animals in the jungle, in the solitude, for their life. Because they are wild animals, they do nothing good, So it's like that. So you have to remind yourself, wherever you are, in the solitude, in the society, always mindful, be mindful yourself. See, that also mentioned in the jewel ornament of liberation and chapter 16. When you're in the solitude, if you are now so wandering your mind, telling bad things of others. Well, your body is the solitude, but your mind is wandering with the samsara, Then it's like a tiger, like a singing bird, no difference. So here it's saying, no. So, just staying in the solitude, not necessarily you are doing the right thing. No. So remind yourself, practicing the perseverance. Repeatedly remind, I'm doing the right thing or not. Watch your mind always. If I'm practicing enough, good. Well, you're chanting mantra. I'm chanting this mantra. My mind is really doing right thing. I'm practicing and based on the bodhicitta or not. No, I'm doing really practicing to get rid of my mental affliction, or I'm developing more ego. What? No. For this, you see, avoid all the distractions. See, it's very important practice. That's what Dharma practice is about. Buddha taught the Dharma teachings is to free all sentient beings from suffering, from samsara, you see. Buddha didn't teach Dharma something like a religion. You believe, this, that, Our problem is being in the samsara. Because of being samsara, there's no way from suffering. So to free from that suffering, Buddha taught this all instructions. So here his Dhammakita is reminding us the purpose of our following the Dhamma, following the Buddha. See? So it's a fact of wild deer living in solitude, isolated place, but wasting away their life. So because of that, with urgency means so impermanent. Moment to moment. I cannot claim, say, today my health is good, so I will not die, Who knows? Today my life is totally perfect. Next day you are gone. So before that, we have this precious human life utilized in such, with kind of this urgency. So Milarepa said, he said, by fear of the death, I escaped the mountain. While I'm in the mountain, I remind myself every day about the impermanence. So he said, now I captured the fortress of unchanging nature. And totally realized the Dhammakaya. So now I'm free from all the fear of death. Means that may come in any time. I'm ready. So that's the Dhamma practice. We need to practice this. We have the precious human life. We have the Dharma now. So urgency and diligence. Sometimes we need to force. Mental affliction comes instead of depressed. Oh, I'm angry now. I'm so, I feel so bad, Instead of feeling that. So this is my bad habit. I have to persecute this, purify now. I have the Dharma. I have this, the instruction of the bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, instruction of the emptiness. All this I have. I can do it. Then Buddha will feel, oh, I'm so happy they are taking Dharma very seriously, And that's the best offering to Buddha. Best offering to Buddha. Milarepa once, he was in the retreat. His sister came first time, and then sister was wondering, she doesn't have place to live. No, she's beggar, and Milarepa, worse than that, nothing, Then she went to see him, and then she was so depressed, Then she just complained, we are the worst people in the world that exists, And she's complaining, I saw there are a lot of Dhamma practitioners who have a better place than you are, What you have is, And then Milarepa said, no, you just wait a minute, Yes, you are right. He said, if you look at my place, it's heartbreaking, And look at my body, the skeleton. Even the enemies, if see, tear will build in their eyes, And look at, I have no cloth, anything is embarrassing for you. But he said, if Buddha sees my mind, Buddha will please. See, he has that kind of confidence. Don't be so obsessed of the samsaric achievement, he said. If we follow this way, no doubt, we'll achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. So rejoice what I'm doing, And then she said, no, you are saying something very good, but practically you're nothing, But now Milarepa made the history of Buddhism was so strongly established in Tibet because of Milarepa's example. Everybody, regardless who they are inspired by Milarepa's life story. They're talking about Milarepa, Everybody says, read Milarepa's life story, 100,000 songs, because they get something benefit. So we sacrifice some samsaric effort, some samsaric enjoyment, and replace by this wisdom of the Buddha. Yeah. Okay. Then number 10, what is said here, wherever you reside and with whomever you associate, there is never a need to disparage others or engage in idle chatters. So now this is how to keep yourself from the distance of the non-virtuous friend of people. So wherever you reside, any place, in the isolate place, solitude, or in the gathering, in the group, family, and whomever you associate, there is never a need to disparage. Don't look down anybody. See, that's very important. others or engage in idle chatter. Don't disparage. We protect our own mind. Practice loving kindness, compassion. Practice bodhicitta. Instead of disparaging, we say prayers, how I can help that person, how that person can be free from that kind of behavior. No. Just build our noble thoughts of bodhicitta, how to support others, how to help others. And then idle chatter, instead of talking these gossiping, all these things. Now, reflect your mind. In your mind, meditate. Everything's illusory nature. Everything's just manifestation, emptiness. No? See? Or attempt to manipulate others. Sometimes we try to manipulate. Or say, this is your side, this is their side. We're making different side groups. These are not good. So disassociate with these kind of disparaging. You just stand yourself in your Dhamma practice, bodhicitta. And instead of making problems, we try to make a group, our side, their side, grouping, and it's not healthy. It looks kind of skillful, but in reality, it only makes more gossip, more kind of idle talk, more suffering. When you say something, others, and other will say something to you, it's interdependent. So therefore, he said, to live with the integrity is my heartfelt advice. Integrity means very direct. Honest, without bias. See, maintain your mind. In the middle of the bodhicitta. And in the first place, you get the benefit yourself. Your mind is more peaceful, calm. See? When you have the peaceful mind, your mind is healthy. And you have all the good qualities you achieve. So that's how first you get the benefit. See, then that will help in the society. See, then number 11. Look. So it's the reminding of, again, repeating something, Abandon all involvement in rejecting and accepting and the establishing and the refuting the limits of others' tenets, different schools. In the Buddhist, we have all different schools, in the Buddhist. We have Theravada school, we have Mahayana school, we have Vajrayana school. Then in Theravada also we have different schools. In Mahayana also we have many different schools. In Vajrayana also many different schools. So then if we say, oh, their ways do not good, their ways, no, there's a way, they have the problem, they're confused. They don't have really good teachings like that. And so then try to prove yourself is the better, then they will again back to you. You have the more problem than we have, So then that doesn't solve the problem, In the past, we have a lot of history refuting other systems. No, they don't have this, and our way is the better, And later, a greater scholar comes from other, and they refute yours is worse than we are, So problems never solved. But the system what we have still continue in your way. No, it only makes the gossiping the Dharma out of school and making more negative karma. No, abusing Dharma is very negative. That destroys Buddha's lineage. Instead, you respect others. So this Dharma Kiti, he was such a great teacher, highly accomplished. And he's actually, have you heard of Saraha? Saraha was from the 85 Mahasiddham, he's the highest one. So Dharmakirti was the rebirth of Saraha. So he knows all about this limitation. So his followers is telling, don't do these things. They will make this way is only making negative karma. There's no benefit. You practice what you have. Continue your practice there. See. So just leave it alone, he said, establishing and refuting the limits of others' tenets. Maintain instead equanimity. Just respect. Leave alone what they're doing. Equanimity others towards them. And to practice whatever has been taught to you is my heartfelt advice. Whatever your teacher, your root guru taught to you, study them, practice them. So precious. That's the best way. We respect all others who they are. And then follow your practice. Nowadays sometimes there are a lot of, oh, that teacher has this problem. I heard this problem, this the teacher, that problem, this the problem, Sometimes they ask me, what do you think? So I said, what should I say, I said, even Buddha has problems. At the time of Buddha, they criticize Buddha. So what should I say? So, but look at our own limitation, how I am limited. Look at my own limitation and then purify that. I cannot judge. Then these days, there's in the Facebook, in the YouTube, there's so many things there, So the teachers doing this, the teachers doing that. There's so many things, So difficult to judge. So as I said, this their responsibility, what I can say, If I say something, doesn't benefit. If there's a benefit, of course, then maybe I can suggest some, but there's no benefit. So instead, just look at my own limitation. So here, you see, Dharmakit is explaining, giving that for us. It's their responsibility. Some students they say, oh no, I don't like what he or she's doing, this, that, I'm sure you don't like it, but what we can do. So, you practice yourself. What Buddha taught. Definitely Buddha's teaching is the real, can benefit us. Benefit anybody who practices can get benefit. Because Buddha's teaching is the wisdom pointing us to see our confusion, our delusions, which are the root cause of suffering. So Buddha's teaching is instruction to purify those. So meditate on those, reflect on those, and contribute Buddha's teaching as much as you can. It's the benefit of everybody. It's the interest of everybody. We meditate on this. So that here he says, to practice whatever has been taught to you is my heartfelt advice. So maintain instead equanimity towards them. Then next he said here, Rangi Nyamyung Nanya Majishin Dare Puta Kombe Machet na Techir Pete Lamji Dermetong Tatu Komba Kuyin Dami. Now next again it's very important here. If meditative experience does not arise from within, see, we have to practice, study, practice, meditate. And through within that meditation, then experience manifests. You see, yes, I see this. Yes, that's right. No. Within, and you have not determined the full extent of the view through the meditation. So the view, there's most time the view of the emptiness, pointing outside, the emptiness, instead of looking inside. Dawa in Tibetan is called Dawa. Dawa Buddha Kombe. Without making the full determination of the view through the meditation practice, saying, Buddha Kombe. Just by discussing, debating, intellectual debating, so cannot make the decision. Looking at the text, he said this, he said that, she said that, and then debating. So this is that, this is this, So cannot make the determination. The ultimate view can make only determination through the meditative experience. That's what's called, we are the practicing lineage. The lineage of the practicing. Not just intellectual, not just a dialectic system. The path of syllogism and the book learning will not enable you to see reality. So to meditate continuously is my heartfelt advice. So always meditate once you understood. When you have not studied anything, then there's nothing to meditate. Sometimes with without knowing, there's some individuals a little older, 30s, 40s, and they have not studied Buddhist philosophy so much. Then says, I want to study, something that the teacher says, yeah, you are now getting older. You cannot study. You go to mountain meditate. In such case, I think it's not so advisable. You must study some, at least some, what to meditate. Maybe not. You don't have vast experience of the study, but you must have some wisdom what to meditate. Once you understood some, then focus on that. Go to practice. For the time, okay, first we have to finish this. So to meditate continuously is my heartfelt advice. This means now whatever you have understood, contemplated, got the benefit. Now to further, what's it called, to penetrate, meaning you bring into your heart and then contemplate in the meditation. And just said, experience the taste of the Dharma teaching, not just satisfy your intellectual understanding. This way, Dharma can maintain. This way, we can get the benefit of the Dharma. Intellectually, you investigated, very wise, but there's not so much benefit. When it comes to the point, there's a lot of confusion manifests, mental afflictions arises, then very difficult to comprehend. The mental afflictions, they got the victory, and we are the loser. So our study brought no benefit. So study, practice must be together, hand in hand. Like a bird flies with the two wings. Without one wing, other cannot fly. So both wings are necessary, bird to fly. So this both, your understanding and practice are necessary to cross the ocean of samsara and to arrive at the Buddha field. Otherwise, we're just wandering, repeating same mistake, same mental afflictions. Sometimes you, oh yes, it's right. Dharma is so good, so wonderful. But then because of lack of the meditation practice, and manifest the same mistake in the mind. And then you're depressed. Then sometimes you feel, oh, no, I should not practice Dharma so much. It's only making me more suffering. If without Dharma, maybe I'll be more free, So it's very dangerous. So practice is very important. As much as we can, we follow the practice. Every day in our life, in the morning through evening. In the morning, you cultivate your mind. Take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha. Cultivate bodhicitta. Exercise. Today I will do good. Okay? I will try my best. Then in the evening, reflect. If you have made mistake, or I made this mistake because of this is that, I purify. You know, this way definitely we get benefit. And then just join to Buddha. May I be like Buddha. Okay. I have some friends, some people say, may I be like you. They're saying to me, I said, this is wrong. If you like me, if you like to be like me, then you are nowhere. I said, you should say this, may I be like Buddha. Listen. That's wonderful. So today, you see now in prominence, they're telling me I should stop. Okay. So reflect today. This morning, how we started the day, and then this afternoon we reflected more. Just reflect how much you got the benefit. This last 3-4 years, we have not met. So now after these 3-4 years, now we met, refreshing Dharma. How much you have refreshed? How much benefit you got? Or you haven't got any benefit? Just reflect on these things and how Dharma is precious. This Buddha's wisdom, here I'm just repeating, this Buddha's wisdom. Still, I don't have enough ability to express Buddha's wisdom. Buddha's wisdom is infinite. So that's why we take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. That's why Dharma is precious. We need in the world for our benefit, for the benefit of all sentient beings. We need to work, maintain the Dharma. Everyone has responsibility, not one individual. Sangha means not just one individual. Sangha means a group. So assembly, a group is called Sangha. So everyone has responsibility when you come to Buddha's teaching. Because Buddha taught Dharma teaching to everybody, not to one individual. So reflect on this. And then meditate, see, by this, today, whatever I got benefit, may everybody free from samsara. May everybody achieve the complete enlightenment. So I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful I have this precious human life and meeting these precious Dharma teachings, the Buddha's wisdom, even this on 21st century. Just reflect on this. Okay, then we'll say some dedication prayer. Okay.